Phasmophobia has received a new update, which is titled their Exposition update, as we can see here. Currently on their Steam page, we're just going to go right through the update to see what's happened. Now, Phasmophobia's game, recently I've been a little addicted to. I'm not too high level, but anytime I get on to play a game, this is certainly the one that I choose to play, that or Valheim. So this is a big update because it adds a pretty good amount of features, and anyone that watches InSim will know that there has been a couple sneak peeks about what's coming to update, but never the whole picture. So Exposition is update v0.3.0. It's a sprinting overhaul, 2 new ghost types, new equipment, and more. So that's going to be the main things we're looking at here. So it starts off with, welcome back, we got some news for you. While you have been gone, we've taken the time to upgrade all of your gear. It's been improved in every aspect, and some of it has received new functionality. We've also had several reports of new paranormal entities emerging from haunted locations. We need you to check them out as soon as possible. So it's kind of hinting here that, new ghosts, different types of gear. So the first thing up here is going to be the sprint rework. You can now sprint for 3 seconds at increased speed with a 5-second recharge. And the player walking speed has been increased to the old sprint speed. So now you sprint faster and your walking speed is the old sprint speed. So that way it actually feels like you're kind of moving somewhere. It's not as slow as last time. It's the one thing I did notice about the game before this update is that your sprinting kind of still felt slow and that there was no recharge for it at all. For VR teleporting to replicate sprinting, we've added an inner and outer UI circle to represent teleport range, walking and sprinting. These will adjust in size depending on how far the player has chosen to teleport. I don't do VR, I know my friend Kale does, so he'll probably like that a bit more than I would do. Increase the acceleration of ghosts during a hunt when they can see you. So now ghosts accelerate at a much faster speed, make them scary. So that way you can't just take that risky ghost photo and, kind of have a backup and can just dip out of there. Now it's a lot more risky to actually be in sight of the ghost. So line of sight's gotten a lot more dangerous now. So this will probably make the rev even worse, and same for the Jinn if you're under that circumstance. Lower the ghost hunt delay before it moves from 5 to 3 seconds. So usually at the beginning of a hunt, if you don't know, the ghost will not move for 5 seconds, and then after that 5-second grace period, it will start to move. Now they've reduced it down to 3 seconds, so that way, again, making the ghost a bit more dangerous, and that'll probably come hand in hand with these new entities that will be more dangerous. And so the new stuff, aside from the sprint rework, will be adding 2 ghost types, the Goryo and the Myling. So we got 2 new ghosts in this update. They added new equipment to find a new evidence type, so I'm assuming these 2 ghost types will probably take advantage of that. The DOTS projector. Electronic equipment will now alert ghosts of your position during a hunt, similar to how a voice will. Turn them off before hiding. So this is something that, kind of was a myth in Phasmophobia, is that they could hear the EMF reader. Like if you had that on the whole time, that they could hear it. They couldn't, but now they can, which makes a whole lot more sense because it is pretty annoying to have the EMF reader on, especially if we're playing in public lobbies. And it makes sense that they would be able to hear it, and so it kind of punishes you for not turning off your items and being a lot more quiet. Hunts now affect all electronic equipment with new sounds and visuals, and kind of the update that a lot of people have been looking forward to is that the parabolic microphone now allows you to hear paranormal sounds when aimed towards the ghost. So the parabolic microphone needed something to make it a bit better because it's probably the worst item in the game, just because of how laggy it kind of is, how it plays out, and how buggy it kind of is to use, and you can always just use your headphones over it. It's really wasn't that great of an item, but hopefully this little rework helps it. You can now enable head bob in settings, so I guess they've added head bob. You can enable or disable that. I'll probably keep that disabled because head bob isn't really my type of thing, especially in these games. All equipment except the sound sensor has new visuals and effects, so equipments are getting a nice art rework. New post-processing effects for players and CCTV, so the CCTV cameras that you place that are already outside the house, and for player models, that'd be pretty good. I'm excited to see what those look like. Changes. All ghost types have had their evidence changed to make room for the new ghosts and DOTS projector. Now, I'm assuming that projector is actually that green thing we saw in the preview pictures. If you were a part of that, you would have seen that they teased this weird green projector that could fill up a whole room with lines. So that's what that's going to be. During a hunt, equipment and lights will only be affected when in range of the ghost. So what this is going to mean is that a radius is around the ghost, and if anything falls within that radius, especially when they're hunting, it will be affected. So now all the lights won't just go on and off throughout the entire property or house that you're ghost hunting in. Now it's only going to be in a certain vicinity. Random ghost footsteps can now only be heard with a parabolic microphone. So now adding more use to the parabolic microphone, which was previously kind of useless, that's a good thing. glow stick slow for 30 seconds, then fade over the next 30 seconds. So adding a temporary time element to that, really good. The spirit box text has been replaced with icons to show if the ghost is responding. So this is just to let you know if the ghost actually is responding to something. I'm not sure if that just means it'll still say the words of the ghost, but I'm assuming the icons mean if the ghost is trying to respond. Not 100% sure. Several sounds have been replaced, so just updating the sounds, quality of gameplay type of thing. They're probably making sounds more distinct and unique. The infrared sensor functionality has been merged into the motion sensor, so now it's a 2-in-1 for that item. Lighting has been improved in most maps. The placement helper object has new visuals. Alright. I'm assuming that means when you're going to place an object, like if you have a camera without a tripod, it makes it look better. Volumetric lighting has been improved in all maps to reduce fogginess. That's nice. When playing solo, you no longer have to use the push to talk for the spirit box. That's good, if turned off in settings. The ghost will no longer be visible at the start of the hunt until it starts moving. Okay, so that's another good change, I think, for the game, is because now you can't just see where the ghost is. You're kind of kept in the dark unless you know where the ghost room is, and you know kind of where it is, but this is just so it won't give it away immediately. Added to that 3-second grace period, and this is looking pretty scary for the ghost. Player hand skin color will now change based on the character you're playing as. I didn't even know that was that was a thing. Okay. I guess my mind just kind of processed that part out from the game. The tutorial has been updated with the new evidence type and new visuals, as should be expected. For VR, the journal will now always be held in the left hand. The parabolic microphone can now only be used when inside, and some other changes, some minor changes, several visual and UI adjustments. I'm assuming those come with the new items. They probably had to change some stuff around, so that's going to be nice. So now the last part is going to be the fixes. Show us phrase no longer makes the ghost interact twice. Now that was kind of a meme. You would just say show us and spam that until you got an event, because it was twice as likely to create an event. So now that's been removed, and now you can't find that anymore. And now they fixed a bug where you can mute the spirit box static by picking it up with a different object in your hand. The spirit box is annoying. That is kind of one little bug that I kind of enjoyed because you have to hear it. But it's sad to see that one go. Fixed a bug where ghost events would lower host sanity. If that means like the server host, maybe if they didn't witness it, that'd be it. Okay. Fixed a bug where ghost window knocks were not giving interaction evidence on most windows. Okay, so that's good. Now you can get an interaction for evidence. Fixed a bug where you could get the ghost to interact with objects with voice recognition in quick succession. Okay, so this was a bug that I first saw with InSim. So what you should do is that when the ghost is hunting, or I guess this is kind of applies to the hunting part, this is it in full, but basically what you would do is when hunt happens, you would say show us, show us, show us, show us, and a bunch of commands, and if the ghost touched something during that hunt, it would end the hunt because it interacted. Fixed a common multiplayer crash for a host on a silent multiplayer. Don't think I've had that happen. Fixed a bug where you could force the ghost to end the hunt using voice recognition. Yep, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That voice recognition ending hunt. That was a pretty good bug if you were trying to do like speedruns, or if you just wanted to, if you were doing zero sanity speedruns, I guess. That was a pretty good tactic to use, but it was a bug, so it's good that it's out. Fixed a bug where you could get ghosts to interact with objects when you were dead with voice recognition. I didn't know that was a thing, but good thing it's not. Fixed a bug where you wouldn't always get a small map on the map selection screen. I kind of like that, especially since I do solo or duos. But you always have to get those big maps in there if you want to really challenge yourself. Fixed a bug where the sensors couldn't be placed in certain doorways. Fixed a bug where picking up sensors too quickly would keep them turned on in your hand. Fixed occlusion culling issues on several levels. Fixed a bug where Danish and Finnish were in the wrong order in the language selection. Fixed a bug where certain ghost animations would only play if you are the host. Okay, good. So now every player gets to see it. Fixed a bug where equipment sounds were broken when being held by a female character. Pretty sexist, but good thing it's fixed. And the last message here is happy hunting. If you experience any issues or want to give feedback, please join our Discord. And links to Discord. So, all in all, the Phasmophobia exposition update seems to be pretty nice. It adds a good amount of new features and changes that I think really help the game, balance itself out while still making it challenging and creating a new enough environment for players to experience. So if whether you're an old player or a new player, you still have some challenges ahead of you. Now, obviously, the experienced players are going to figure this out pretty soon for all the ghost types and remembering all the different types of evidence. But it is nice that they had a bunch of art overhaul and all that good stuff. Now, one thing in this update that I didn't see that you can see as previewed here is actually they've added the camcorder, they updated the spirit box visuals, and they added the flashlight visuals. Now, in an earlier dev update that I actually watched through InSim, these were supposed to be tiered items. So now you have tiered items. So now you have a tiered system where this is supposed to be the lowest flashlight, and then what I assume would be the normal flashlight, and then the strong flashlight. Same goes for the camcorder. For this is supposed to be for like photo cam. There was a knockoff Sony camera as well, so I'm assuming there will be 3 tiers. Now, I haven't hopped into gameplay yet, but I'm going to double check that that's it. I'll post another video that's going to have actual gameplay with Kaden and I, hopefully, making out of these maps alive, knowing what the ghost is, and hopefully experiencing that they've actually added these items, the tiered item system, I should say. All in all, my final thoughts are that this Phasmophobia Exposition update is great for the game. It is an almost perfect update. It has a lot of things that new players and, players that have been playing this for the last 8 months are really looking forward to, and I think it's going to be great. The hype was definitely worth it, and I can't wait for the next update. Thank you for sticking with me and looking through this update with me. I'll hopefully have the gameplay up right after this video, and if I do, I'll go ahead and link it in the description and in the top right. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.